you dopes, listen up.
Veteran know-how will help us to better prepare our infantry.
Welcome to a 2v2 on Bystraya Voda. I think this is my first time casting a 2v2 on this map, so that'll be a new experience for me. Most of the 1v1s that I've seen so far. This game is going to be Sexuelle Belastigungs's Panda. I certainly have no idea what that is supposed to say or mean. And Knight versus Allies and Sargasul. We've got mixed allies on the left, double Oster on the right, and they've both picked mechanized assault immediately, throwing 2 squads of assault grenadiers, 3 squads of assault grenadiers from allies. Sargasul going a little more conservative on the assault grenadier opening from him, 1 assault grenadier squad, but a hard push for the south by the Oster here, sending everything they have down here to try and get this under control, and they appear to be experiencing some success with their assault grenadiers, at least initially, but now that 2 rifle squads, in addition to these conscripts, are here, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this line. Riflemen have been fielded as well.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
Sexual assault panda. Okay, thank you.
Conscripts can now throw molotovs.
I wonder if that's a South Park reference. It sounds like a South Park reference, but it's like in a different language. Sexual harassment, panda.
The enemy is taking what we have secured. Okay, that's the last one.
These 3 squads have taken the entire north completely unopposed. I don't think the Allies have sent anything up here. They're pretty much all in on the south fuel, so they better get it under their control or they are totally screwed. Pretty early grenade tech from Panda. Goes into that shed, almost wiping that squad. Molotov, ooh, that's a kind of a fun fact. Molotov can reach that shed from over here. That's an interesting nuance about the map, hadn't seen before. Full retreat there from Sargasul, pushed off the map. Meanwhile, in the north, 2 squads of cons with flamethrower support, gonna try and get this area back under control. Bunker protecting this point. Assault grenadiers. Ooh, throw their grenades. I don't know, that grenade assault was pretty good. That might win the engagement. Those 2 squads have to retreat or get wiped. They certainly can't stick around in red cover. That was a nice grenade assault. I don't think that's getting away. I don't know. Yep, there they go. Dodges the Molotov, and then the conscript squad retreats. They actually might have won that engagement. There are only 2 models remaining, but still. Terrible engagement for the Allies. This area will remain in Oster control. Meanwhile, the south has fallen into Allied control. Riflemen and conscripts holding the line against this next push that's coming, though I'm not sure how successful they will be. Not to mention their cutoff is rather vulnerable here. So we'll see what happens.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We got something useful today.
Assault Grenadiers seem to be doing pretty well on this map so far. I mean, granted, this Rifleman micro isn't stellar, but I could see how they would be appealing in these kind of really short-range areas. This isn't really much of a medium-range map, I've noticed. It seems to be either really short-range or long-range. Not much of a medium-range map. I've struggled to utilize Fallschirmjäger effectively, kind of as a result of that. Personally. I don't know. I haven't actually played that many games on this map myself.
Our riflemen now have access to flamethrowers to smoke out the enemy.
Grab your shit and follow me.
Rifle squad ready for action.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Grenade toss will get dodged. Riflemen are about to get suppressed. Probably just one more burst from that machine gun should do it. There they go. Both squads suppressed despite being in yellow cover, and a grenade assault will force the retreat. That's pretty expensive, by the way. That's 45 munitions for that grenade assault, so you really do want to try and get good value out of that. Those squads were probably going to retreat anyway, so I don't know if that was necessary in that instance. The bunker goes down here in the north to a field gun. Conscripts are going to move up to take control of this territory now. There is one assault grenadier squad available to counter and a flamethrower. More infantry is on its way to assist, though. We do have tier 2 here in addition to tier 1 there, so they each have one tech structure. And we're probably going to see mechanized assault groups. If not, they might just go straight for Stug E's. That machine gun does get decrewed, but 2 squads suppressed, 1 retreating. This one in green cover is the only serious threat remaining. And he's got lots of infantry in the area to recrew that machine gun, although he almost lost that flamethrower right there. Assault grenadiers will recrew the MG and keep these infantry pinned down behind the wreck right here. And everything has to retreat. The fuel point will fall back into Axis control. Surprisingly, no usage of smoke during that. Although Panda is down to very little munitions. He's been throwing a lot of frag grenades, almost no smoke.
Reinforcements in.
And his munitions is suffering as a result of that.
Stick with me and you might just...
AA half-track is in production now. That'll be his first major fuel purchase. That will, of course, delay his tanks, and the Axis, having had control of the fuel for most of the game, and taking control of it now is going to give them a huge advantage. Once Stugis start being fielded, I'm not sure if the Allies will be able to survive. They have 1 field gun. Other than that, not much in the way of anti-tank, and the Axis have tremendous map control right now.
Someone block the flank! Ours! It is ours!
300 points stand between us and defeat.
Fire!
The sector has been cut off.
This blob.
We are
This
losing
blob
the
is
sector.
ridiculous. That grenade assault did a pretty decent job of putting a dent in it, but good lord. I think that's every single infantry squad the Allies have right here. There's another grenade assault. That's a lot of munitions being spent by the Axis to try and keep that at bay, but it's pretty futile.
The enemy is
Pretty
taking
futile.
our territory. Our lines of supply are disrupted. Look here. We may now call in Model E assault guns, Commander.
That squad is asking to get wiped right now. Can't quite get the shot off yet. There's the first Stug. I'm sure there's gonna be plenty more very soon. That flamethrower died. High explosive barrage from a field gun over here on the left side brings that squad pretty low, and this one also needs to retreat.
New anti-tank gun has arrived. Reports contact.
church will collapse. And there goes that Stug. Takes engine damage and the field gun will destroy it. I think he could have done that engagement a little bit better. He didn't have any infantry support at all and he got very exposed. A little bit overzealous in his attempt to punish that blob, I guess. Pretty lethal game all around for both sides. Oster mortar has been fielded here on the south side of the river.
You need something built or blown up? Pioneers ready for anything!
And there is one medical bunker here in the base.
Ready!
Sargasul might consider taking advantage of.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
This assault gren blob, making its way towards the north, is gonna struggle. As blobs grow, they tend to favor long-range infantry more than short-range infantry, because the amount of losses inflicted on the approach begins to outpace the number of losses inflicted at short range. The entire blob also gets suppressed by a Maxim and an AA half-track right there. Two assault grenadiers here in the south with LMG grenadier support might win an engagement against those conscripts, and a pretty significant force. Rifleman is making its way towards the south. There's a bunker and an MG set up to screen against this advance, but if he deploys smoke, he should win this.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
But he hasn't done so yet, for whatever reason. Lieutenant will retreat from the bunker. There's a frag grenade. Might just win this, just walking up and grenading it. Smoke would have made it a lot easier. He'll definitely win with these two more squads on their way to support. Meanwhile, in the north, AT guns fielded. The rest of Sargasul's infantry is moving to support in this area. And I'm actually amazed that we haven't seen more Stug-E's. There's a second one right there. I'm really surprised Sargasul hasn't made any at all. We won't be able to hold the south as a result of that decision, I think.
The Sturmgeschütz is ready for use. We have a fresh half-track at our disposal. We have a forward structure under attack.
Grenadiers ready!
Squad wiped. Already getting a pretty good return on that investment. Flamethrower popped. Kills the squad. Half-track on the field will allow him to reinforce in the field and push everything away, and that AA half-track won't last long against that Stug either. Everything has to get out of there immediately. Gets a couple good hits off, up to 5 kills already, but his bunker is destroyed before the AA half-track can be forced away by the Stug. Meanwhile, here in the north, whoa, what is that half-track doing? Trying to flank around, but I think he might take an AT grenade right here. The Stug is not quite positioned right on the hill to support against that. But the AT gun doesn't rotate around to finish him off. Light artillery barrage doesn't look like it inflicted all that much damage. Assault grenadiers don't move in close enough either. I think the Axis could win this engagement easily enough. But he has to move in with those assault grenadiers. I don't know where he's going or what he's doing right now. And his Stug is falling dangerously low to field gun fire, and it goes down to an AT grenade again. Just left that thing AFK, and he made no attempt to screen the field. What are they doing? Why would he even move them up there? I don't understand these movements. The Oster were off to such a strong start, but now 2 Stug-E's have been destroyed for no reason that I can understand. Things aren't exactly going very well here, but they do still maintain total control of the south thanks to Sargasul's efforts. American player doesn't seem to be experiencing much success on this front. And now that both Stugs have been destroyed in the north, that AA half-track should have total freedom to shut down this blob. There goes that Panzer Grenadier squad, just got wiped.
Captain just took the
Jeez.
battlefield.
not going so great. Meanwhile, here in the south, a grenade assault on the rifle blobs, doing light damage, but they mostly seem to be able to dodge that. The Stug, however, I think it's attacking ground because it doesn't currently have a line. Maybe the pack is attacking ground. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to destroy the hedge. Either way, this is not going to go anywhere. The American player has no counter to this unit, and any attempt for the south he makes is just pointless manpower bleed. Assault Grenadiers will retreat away from the north as well, and the Lieutenant's going to get the munitions point under control. The Axis do still hold the center munitions point though, and the south fuel, so overall they're in a pretty strong position with 2 victory points and most of the priority resource points. But they need to engage a little smarter with their tanks. Tigers are going to be here soon though, and they're going to be a lot easier to preserve than those Stugs.
We have finished building the bunker.
American player is going to start throwing some AT guns out because he knows those Tigers are on the way. Maxim in production from night. And having chosen Advanced Warfare and Rifle Company, they both have access to call-in medium tanks, but they're not really preserving very much fuel, and they don't have control of the south fuel. Tier 4 has been built by the Soviet player, so I think he's probably going Katyusha to try and shut down some of this behavior. But, it's going to take a little while to get that out. Mortar plus light artillery barrage bleeding this advance. Jeez, is he even trying to dodge this? Notices that a little late. Retreats 1 squad, doesn't retreat this one. Captain and 2 rifle squads left for this push. There's also a S-mine field protecting against any attempt to jump into cover right there. He's gonna walk right into it. Oh, that's another squad wiped. Grenade tossed at the machine gun. They're pretty spread out and in green cover. Brings the squad quite low though. This mortar's already vet 1. No, he's got to manage 2 engagements simultaneously, but it seems to be going pretty okay. His defenses in the south will hold, and he will wipe a squad in the building and clear out this field gun. Mortar will be forced to retreat completely. These 3 squads of conscripts making their way, or no, two cons and a flamethrower making their way onto the cutoff. Look like they're going to get pushed away by this Stug E. There's no field gun anywhere in range to finish this thing off after it takes these 2 AT grenades, I think. AT grenade bounces and should be able to pull back and be pretty much fine. Although he almost destroys their own cache right there. Defenses in the south have held. Piles are available in the area, plus half-track for reinforcement if he decides that's worthwhile. And it looks like the north will fall into Axis control in addition to this field gun getting stolen.
has released a Tiger for our use. Infantry squad has been killed.
You guys, listen to me if you want to live.
Stugi is taking quite a bit of damage from the massed anti-tank in this area. Assault Grenadiers trying to move into short range for grenade assaults, but again, this much infantry is way too much for them to take on. They're getting burst down by flamethrowers hard. Ooh, and that attempt at soft retreating costs them big time. 1 squad wiped, that one gets away by a sliver. Half-track is available for reinforcements, and the Stugi's wipe a squad in the north house and turn to fire on infantry that round this corner. Meanwhile, screening forces try and keep anti-tank weaponry at bay, keep those assault guns safe. The south remains completely uncontested by anybody. Sargasul has forces in the area, but they're not advancing to take control of the strategic point or cutoff, because that would probably be a dangerous overextension. He could try it with the flamethrower pyos though, but he has a lot to manage very carefully here in the north with those heavily damaged assault guns. If he lets them get out of position for even a second, they will probably be destroyed by the massed anti-tank weaponry in this area. We've got one American AT gun, an Su-85, a ZIS gun. Oh, two American AT guns. So yeah, this is just way too much anti-tank for even a Tiger to engage frontally would be suicide. And everything will be forced back here in this area. Because the Axis don't have any effective long-range infantry, they can't safely decrew those weapons, and they'll, without setting up some sort of really well-executed flank. But that's pretty hard with this AA half-track defending. They need to try and get that thing destroyed so that the Allies won't have a suppression source and their infantry can jump in there and start decrewing those guns. There it goes. AA half-track destroyed by a long-range shot from that AT gun, and that should open up a lot of opportunities for these assault grenadiers to move in and clear some guns. Light artillery barrage brings that one quite low, but I think it'll get clear. These two squads are going to work on the American AT, which are completely exposed right now. Infantry forces still making their way out of the Allied base to support in these engagements, and they won't make it in time to save these guns, which means that now the Tiger has an opening to move in and help in the engagement, but it's just sitting back here. If it doesn't get in there and do something decisive against this Allied infantry, then that engagement will have been pretty much for nothing, and it cost him a full squad of his assault grenadiers, bringing his infantry forces down quite low. This Tiger's just sitting there during all of this. The assault guns in this base also making no effort to contribute. Allied blob making its way towards the Tiger will take heavy damage. Grenade assault wipes the lieutenant. And these three squads catch this mortar out of position and may steal it. They certainly could if they wanted to. Having an austere mortar would be very helpful. Especially if you're finding some of your opponent's defenses a little tough to crack. Or if they're blobbing really hard. Neither of those things is really true though, since the Axis have been reduced to not that much infantry remaining. Might be better to save their manpower for tanks. They can take out some of these higher priority targets. Mortar's certainly not going to help against Stugis or Tigers. Easy 8 will be forced back. Oh, that was close. And that AT gun's going to get cleared again. There are now two decrewed AT guns over here that the Axis could recover. The Stugis have been fully repaired. The Tigers got some repairs left to get executed. And the Allies have completely given up on the South. The South is so important, they should at least work the cutoff. Molotov on that mortar.
The squad of pioneers has arrived. Stock ready. Capture complete. Our opponents are seizing a sector. Half-track has arrived.
Pretty big push by the Allies for the South. This is probably going to succeed. That is a huge army. Stugi is being mobilized to counter. But I don't think even that's going to be enough. Not very many AT guns making their way down here, but still, that Grenadier squad's about to get flamethrowered or Molotov and will retreat preemptively. Stugi moves to the south to engage, but with all the smoke, bazookas, elevation issues, it's probably not going to experience very much success. Fortunately, the captain squad does get suppressed by the machine gun bunker. Second Stug has made its way to assist in this engagement. Big flank right here could be problematic. No suppression set up in the back, so they will be able to get through and potentially damage the engines of some of these assault guns unless they pull back in time, which it looks like they will. No use of URAR right there, so light artillery barrage coming down plus Stuggy fire will prompt a full retreat. Almost a wipe. able to get away just barely. Here in the south, the riflemen engaging. Trying to get the points under control, but with 2 Stugs available to engage, a lot of infantry forces are falling pretty low. The elevation makes it so those Stugs, the threat they pose is slightly mitigated, allowing some of these infantry to stick around for a slightly longer time. And the EZ-8 and Su-85 moving up to engage here should be able to force those Stugs away if they don't destroy them completely.
The enemy has 25 points remaining. The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. The enemy can... Light artillery awaits your
And there
orders.
go those 2 squads. I mean, you should probably get rid of that one.
We are losing a sector. It's ready to use. Look here.
I'm right there with you, Berts. As a caster, it's pretty much my job to state my opinion without anybody asking for it.
Pioneers awaiting orders.
Wow, how are the Allies still in this game? 3 victory points left, and they're barely holding on to the south. This is gonna be one of those crazy replays where, like, there's like a big turnaround in the victory points. There's only 3 left, and then one of the other team like totally drops the ball and makes a bunch of dumb mistakes. I don't know, maybe not. Huge volley of Panzer Shreks right there. EZ-8 has to pull back to safety. I should just jump into that victory point circle and end the game, honestly. Just win. Just go win. Just go stand over there for a second.
All done here!
Crowds are snipping. The supply line just got cut off.
Jeez.
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Orders incoming!
Grenade wipes that flamethrower squad. There's still 2 Stugs down here to shut this down, although he's kind of struggling to get a line. About to have to expose his rear armor to an EZ-8, which may be not a very good thing to do. This blob is getting flamethrowered really hard. The Stugs have yet to even fire. EZ-8 on the flank. This could be kind of a bad engagement for the Oster. He does have a Grenadier squad here for a Panzerfaust, but that Stug's gonna go down, I think. Fortunately, he does wipe one of the 3 rifle squads with a big hit right there, and there's a Panther now on the field. Wow, that's weird. I was not expecting to see that double mechanized assault into a Panther, but okay. The Tiger will succeed in holding onto the north victory point here for at least a little while. The Soviet player is pretty much just defending this victory point. And I think the Axis wins if they just go and stand in that capture circle. I don't know how they could possibly not take that victory point right now. Unless they intentionally stall the game out, which it appears they are doing. They're gonna feel really dumb if they lose this because they didn't go capture that VP like right now. I don't understand. What's the holdup, Axis? Apparently he just wants to go kill that EZ-8. Su-85 on his flank though. EZ-8 will go down. Su-85 may not survive this either if it... Well, yeah, it probably will. It'll be fine. That Panther needs to be careful. It does have Blitz. It can Blitz to safety if it feels it's worthwhile. Capture the VP! What are you waiting for?
That's it! Fully reinforced!
This is so weird. Pretty sure the Axis is trolling right now. Fuel point has fallen into Grenadiers' control.
We are suffering losses.
Allied blob making its way towards the south to push away this force. And the half track is destroyed. Here's an attempt to seal the game. Assault Grenadiers jumping into the victory point circle here. Some of them get suppressed by a strafing run. I think this might be GG. Looks like this is probably GG.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Why would he just retreat right there? He could have won the game. And he retreated a huge infantry force from what looks like GG, but apparently not. Meanwhile, here in the south, all Oster infantry is forced to retreat by the American player, fresh EZ8. Stug pulling back with just a sliver of HP, and the Panther also pulling back. The lack of teamwork by the Axis is also concerning to me. All they have to do is pool their forces together to make a coordinated push on one of these fronts. The Allies are completely split up because they have no choice. If they lose one victory point for even a second,
Mortar team has been killed.
that is the game.
Pioneers ready for assignment.
We have our reinforcements.
We must defend our headquarters.
Target.
The enemy has clipped a wedge in our lines.
I can't tell whether this comeback is the result of Axis arrogance or incompetence, or both. I mean, really. Either way, 3 victory points remain for the Allies, and they are slowly pushing the Axis completely off the map and inflicting huge losses on them. But the Panther is still alive, Stug also still alive. Bio's taking control of this strategic point. These 3 squads grabbing the munitions here in the north. Pretty large blob of Axis infantry from Allies making its way up here. Should be able to win against these conscripts, assuming they don't all get killed by Molotovs. There's a grenade into the center of the clump. Assault grenades. Wipes that squad. Takes almost no losses during that. They should be able to go take control of the victory point, which is defended by only an extremely low health Maxim and a T-34 and an Su-85. I don't know. I don't think the Soviet player will win this engagement. I guess it's plausible. The south is still extremely well defended. There's an Su-85 down here, pretty decent force of Allied infantry and tanks. But the Panther's been fully repaired. Looks like it's going to move in for another engagement. Panzerschreck squad is caught by a Maxim and flamethrower. That'll have to retreat. The flanking force up here is dealing a little bit of damage to that Su-85, which I don't think is being monitored. One more volley and that will be destroyed. I don't think he has any idea this is happening. There he goes. Assault Grenadiers on the flank will easily clear out that machine gun. There goes the Su-85 as well, completely clearing up that victory point to be captured. Again, they only have to get that captured for just a couple seconds to win the game. But this Maxim will screen against this infantry advance and win the engagement in favor of the Soviets. Meanwhile, it looks like this Oster player is completely stuck in his base, having a lot of trouble breaking this containment, but the Stug and Panther have been somewhat repaired. Best to continue engaging. That squad gets wiped. And the flamethrower gets recovered and immediately bursts, inflicting huge flame damage on both of these squads. The Pios are the first to get wiped and the flamethrower riflemen will retreat. This AT gun is moving up to engage this Panther, but its shots are all plinking off its armor. And the gun itself gets cleared. EZ8 moves up to try and finish it off on the ice. And there it is. Shot connects on the ice. Panther will sink. I really don't know if I think that Panther should sink in a river that looks extremely shallow right here, but there's some ice on Simoski, for example, that you can't sink in. I feel like this is kind of shallow. I don't know. I guess not. Panther sleeping with the fishes. These infantry forces are getting the munitions back under control, but other than that, the Axis just don't have any territory. None of the south points at all.
Push on.
Ooh, that grenade assault doesn't actually do that much. That was going to inflict huge losses, but apparently not. Assault Grenadiers will be forced to retreat. Panzer Grenadiers going up into close range against these conscripts are going to die. The engagement for this general area continues to not really go anywhere. The Axis have not even gotten close to capturing that victory point. I don't know. I feel like even just sending a squad around through the center and then south probably experience some success. They have options. They could attempt to flank. They could work together and brute force the left side. That may not even be necessary. It looks like we're going to see another pretty close attempt by Allies here to get this under control, although he's going to focus on killing that tank rather than just jumping into the capture circle, which may be his only choice, considering he has to kill that Maxim right there if he's going to get a squad into the capture circle and get it captured. But he just retreats immediately and loses that full squad, rather than bundle grenading that Maxim and then trying to jump into the capture circle. He's got more infantry over here to try and make it happen, though. I can't believe how long the Allies have been at 3 victory points and still haven't lost, when the Axis have had so many opportunities to take the victory points. I think the Axis might be starting to panic a little bit. They still have 350 victory points in the bank, though. They've got time. They don't have to be too worried, especially considering these massive fuel reserves. You could just spam Tigers like there's no tomorrow. The Tiger, by the way, has not participated in these engagements at all. Made no attempt at assisting to take control of this victory point with that Tiger. One Tiger could probably win an engagement for the South. Su-85 gets destroyed right there by anti-tank gunfire from way in the back. Engine damage on that. EZ-8 will probably also see it destroyed. Why these Grenadiers are not jumping into this capture circle is beyond me, although there is a huge Allied blob on its way to support. EZ-8s take huge damage from those packs in the back, and the Stug is protecting their flank. White Phosphorus, I think, being called in on those anti-tank weapons. We'll probably see those cleared out, unless all this infantry immediately retreats. That one goes. This one takes huge damage. Oh, don't run into the fire! What are you doing? What is this? Okay. He's just asking for all of his Grenadiers to die. Is this a fresh Panther? I guess so. Oh yeah, his other one sank in the river, so this one's going to try and take out some EZ-8s here in the south. May struggle a little bit. Its only support is some basically dead units which refuse to walk into a victory point capture circle for a reason that is simply beyond me.
We have a fresh half-track at our disposal. Pioneers ready for assignment.
Attempt for the center will retreat again. Demo charge was detonated, almost wiping a squad, but nothing too serious.
What do you need?
I can't believe he hasn't pulled these squads back for healing. This is just asking for massive losses.
It is ours.
Ready for orders.
Oh my god, if that Panther dies. Okay. Doesn't quite sink right there, although it looks like it came pretty close. Get off the ice, though, seriously. AT gun gets cleared, which is not exactly surprising since it had no health at all. Panther does get off the ice.
We are losing a sector.
Grenadier squad at full strength.
And again, the Axis could have won this game like 3 different times now, I think, that I've seen, and the Axis have fallen to only 300 points remaining as he makes another feeble push for the South for whatever reason. I don't get, like, what the Axis are doing. I don't actually think this Tiger has even moved for the last, like, 20 minutes. It's really weird. And they do want to win, right? Maybe they just want to move the units around and don't want the game to end. Just having a grand old time.
We're taking losses. Under fire!
Panther moving to engage the Easy 8s from across the way. The AT gun there has been recrewed. This one's been decrewed. Still needs to be recovered. That's an American AT gun, actually. Another attempt for the North VP. Flamethrowers getting forced out by Assault Grenadiers. They're going to pull back. This Maxim's still here protecting. There's another Maxim protecting against the north flank, and another Maxim here protecting against this flank. It's almost as if he needs a Tiger to clear out some of these team weapons for him. Tiger or indirect fire, whatever floats his boat. He's certainly not going to make any progress just continuing to meat grinder his troops. Meanwhile, in the south, continues to not really go anywhere. Machine gun on this hill, suppressing those Grenadiers, Panther. On its own, not a serious threat to these Easy 8s. There goes one of those squads, the second one barely makes it away alive. Another Easy 8 on the flank back here, that's a damaged engine stug. I don't know if it's going to survive this. One of the Easy 8s has no choice but to pull back to safety. Could engage with the full health one though. There goes the second Stug, finally. And it looks like Sargasul will be pushed completely off the map again. And all of his attempts to get this victory point seem to be failing. Or even when they appear to be successful, he just doesn't walk into the capture circle. So either way, Allies are still in this game somehow. The engagement for the north will continue. This infantry blob is just not really getting anywhere. Squad just got wiped because of his attempt to soft retreat, and he drops that Panzer Schreck. His attempt to recover the Panzer Schreck is costing him even more manpower. This Tiger, despite not having moved for the last 20 minutes, is finally taking shots again. And he's got 570 fuel in the bank with which to make more Tigers if he wanted. I just don't even know. Easy 8s are getting aggressive now that they have another opportunity, and they will take out this mortar team. And the Panther is dead. Panther died right there. Easy 8 swarm takes out the Panther, all remaining Stugs. Even with all of these incredibly heavy losses, Sargasul could make a Tiger now if he wanted. I don't know why he's sending all of his troops to their deaths.
The territory is out of contact.
But that will be the rest of Sargasul's army, except for a half-track and some Pyos, meaning that he should probably just try and support his teammate, who is the only person left on the Axis half of the map with troops. Easy 8 spam has completely annihilated everything here in the south, and if the Axis lose this game, it will be completely their own fault. We'll definitely not have any sympathy for them. Bunker cleared in the north by that T-34. An Allied push for this victory point seemed to be a little too overzealous. The Axis are on the back foot, but with that Tiger there, it's going to take more than just this infantry. I feel like everybody just does not move their tanks. SU-85 at T-34 just hanging out up here. Tiger just hanging out over here. The only person who moves his tanks is Sexual Harassment Panda, driving Easy 8s around here in the south. Sargasul actually moves his Panther a little bit here in the south as well, but not very effectively. Both of his tanks have just died without really killing anything in exchange, so not going so great. The Soviet player is floating resources like crazy. 1,700 manpower in the bank. 800 manpower for Sexual Harassment Panda. He could throw some extra riflemen out or something. The Axis are not really floating that much by comparison.
You've been assigned fresh Panzer Grenadiers. Fresh Grenadier squad. It's done.
Easy 8 needs to pull back. It's got little engine damage. More Easy 8s being fielded. That will be 4 Easy 8s currently on the field. The Axis ability to take one victory point, even for a few seconds, appears to be getting less and less as the game drags on, as their economy and units are just destroyed over the course of the last 25 minutes. Although this huge amount of fuel flow certainly isn't helping the situation, they're just spamming assault grenadiers, which makes no sense against what they're currently fighting at all. And these three squads are going to retreat to safety.
Take cover! Enemy is attacking one of our forward buildings.
And there's a Katyusha on the field for the first time in 45 minutes to start bombarding this area. Interesting choice. He's been tier 4 for a while, but he's been focusing mostly on Su-85s. He actually hasn't had that much fuel to spare this game. He's also made a lot of T-34-85s, so... Obviously, almost all Soviet forces are just concentrating on trying to defend this victory point, which might be the right call, because if they lose that for even a second, they're going to lose the game. But at the same time, the game seems like it's never going to end. A Tiger has been fielded here in the south by Sargasul. A first squad of Grenadiers instantly dies. Mortar's sitting here in his base. I feel like that Tiger's just going to get killed by EZ-8 spam. About to pull onto this ice, but EZ-8s fortunately will not chase. They easily could have. I'm surprised he's pulling back from that engagement. That's pretty much a dead Tiger. And again, I feel that Sargasul's only logical course of action right now is to help his teammate. This Tiger has done almost nothing. It is probably the least used Tiger I've ever seen hit a battlefield. I've never seen a Tiger have such a long lifetime and so few movements.
We have lost the squad.
Those three squads will be forced to retreat. This, I don't even know what those Pyos think they're trying to accomplish by themselves right there. The Tiger still hasn't moved. This one's going to be off the field for repairs forever. The clock continues to tick against the Axis, and they don't seem to have any coordinated plan to really do anything other than commit suicide with lone units, making feeble attempts at taking strategic points immediately outside their base. Oh, that was a pretty good mortar, though. Wipes a machine gun. Oh, look, the Tiger moved. Makes its way towards the south to engage the EZ-8 right there. Immediately suffers engine damage. I'm sure it will just sit AFK here on this hill for the next 45 minutes. Panzer Grenadiers take control of the strategic and munitions points there. Katyusha is available to fire once again as well. Second Tiger's a little stuck on the ice right here, but there are no serious threats to it anywhere nearby. EZ-8s continue massing. I think that's 5 now. 5 EZ-8s on the field, not to mention a second Katyusha. It's going to make it even harder for the Axis infantry blobs. That squad moving back. These two EZ-8s moving up to advance. And that Tiger has stopped moving. There's EZ-8s. Oh, look, an attempt at the capture circle. It's a little late. There's 5 EZ-8s defending it. 2 AT guns are set up to protect that Tiger's flank, though. That's going to be a very dangerous assault to attempt right there, but the EZ-8 does get clear of the arc of fire just in time. And that one is cleared. White phosphorus. No, Sturmovik coming in brings the other one quite low. And white phosphorus. So much for those AT guns. Both Tigers are available to engage here, and I think at least one EZ-8 will go down. That's, oh my god. Like, why is it sinking right now? It's barely touching that river. It's clearly like phasing through dirt. That's so dumb. Come on. Not that I think that Tiger was likely to survive this engagement anyway. Oh man.
WPM-110 smoke strike can be delivered to cover our men. The capture point is being overrun. We're taking fire!
Honestly, despite how horribly this engagement seemed to be going for the Axis, the Allies have left the South VP completely undefended. The trade-off, however, is of course that the victory point right here is being taken. So the Allies will maintain total VP control despite not defending the South right now. And this fresh Tiger is trying to push infantry away, but it's going to take some time. There's a lot to shoot through. And it's also not really got the elevation advantage right here. The Allies have lost a lot of forces in these really aggressive engagements, and only 2 of the original 5 EZ-8s remain, so he's going to have to get those repaired. And that Tiger getting oddly aggressive manages to destroy some stuff here in the back. But it looks like the Allies have a pretty good hold on this game. Again, the Axis really only have to get control of this victory point just so briefly. Pios are going to make an attempt now. They should succeed, I think. This Tiger supporting this sheer quantity of infantry. But I don't know if they're going to get that captured in time. T-34 goes down. White Phosphorus gets dropped on the circle. And a Katyusha's barraging the area. Just as long as just something survives. He needs to stay in that capture circle. The South VP is getting taken right now. Well, now he's too late. South capture circle will fall back into Allied hands, and they're not going to get retaken by the Axis anytime soon. No armored support down here. It's just Pios and an AT gun. They can't win that. AT gun jumps in the capture circle to get that capped, and the Tiger needs some repairs quite badly. Another Stug is being fielded towards the south to try and win an engagement in that area. The Allies, again, cannot afford to lose victory points for even a moment. So they need to get those EZ-8s back on the front line. Decision, out of probably desperation, to go Stug right here is going to be so easy for those EZ-8s to clean up. Barely any ability to repair. I don't think Allies has any Pios left. 1 squad of Pios making its way towards that Tiger now. He still has 500 fuel. He's made 2 Tigers this game out of potential, like, 4 that he could have made, I think. EZ-8, that 3 makes its way back to this area to engage. Chasing away this tiny force of infantry. That Stug is pretty much going to die. Flamethrower killing everything. Just a ridiculous amount of crits. And there it goes, sinking into the ice and exploding, just for good measure. And the Axis are right back where they were before, holding on to only a tiny scrap of territory here in the north and losing everything into the meat grinder otherwise.
Just fell to 50 points.
Only 50 points remaining for the Axis. They will successfully hold this territory because the Tiger is just too good against infantry, and the Allied tanks refuse to push it away. An SU-85 and a T-34-85 sitting right here. Probably kill that Tiger or at least push it back. Triple cap the Axis. Completely immobile tanks on the left and right sides for pretty much the entire game, and you've got yourself a slugfest.
Reinforcements in.
3 EZ-8s working the south. Nothing is really happening anywhere. These points have changed hands so many times. Katyusha forces a retreat. Assault Grenadiers will be forced to retreat by this infantry force. 3 Easy 8s continue to defend the south victory point. 25 points remaining for the Axis, and they show no signs of accomplishment. He just wiped his own Assault Grenadier squad. And they show no sign of being able to get this game back under their control. There goes one of them, just dropped. Allies jumping into the capture circle to get this under control, and Sargasul will surrender. Wow! Well, I gotta say, the Allies didn't exactly play that great themselves. But Easy 8 spam turned things around here in the south, and the fact that the Axis had a jillion opportunities to get this victory point and just chose not to is pretty much the only reason they lost, so pretty dumb. GG, Allies win somehow.